So Sonic X Shadow Generations has been out for like a month now, probably a little bit more than that, and I have not had the chance to actually sit down and review the game. Now, there were multiple reasons why I didn't get around to doing a review yet, and one of them was just because I'm someone who, honestly, I'll be totally blunt with you, I like to jump the gun way too soon. I get over enthusiastic about things the moment they get announced, released, whatever, and I give you a really overzealously positive review. So this time I wanted to actually sit back and really digest this one, really appreciate the game for what it is, and make no mistake, I don't really like typical review videos where they leave a score at the end. I like to kind of make videos that are sort of like reviews where I kind of give you what I like, what I didn't like, but I'm not going to give you like a score at the end. But by the end of the video, you'll know my thoughts about the game, and also probably as the video goes on, it'll be pretty clear how I feel about it. Now, as you already know, Sonic X Shadow Generations is basically two games, and I mean this in that Shadow Generations takes just about as long as the actual Sonic Generations initial game. And I, just like maybe many of you, had no expectations of it being this long. I mean, it took me maybe like 3 or 4 hours to finish just because I was kind of like replaying some old levels and wanted to S-rank a couple here and there, but it still took a good amount of time to actually beat it. But either way, with that said, there are two games here, and I think the first and most logical thing we should probably do is talk about both of them separately. So firstly, let's talk about Sonic Generations. Now, just like the Sonic Colors remaster that was released a little bit ago, this one does have some pretty significant changes, at least somewhat significant. We've got new cutscenes, some skins, Chow, and also some casino levels that we can play through. Speaking honestly here, if you played the original Sonic Generations, I don't really think you're missing all that much. I think the Chow give you a little bit more to go through and like look for in each level, but I don't really care for collecting things in Sonic games. That's just my personal opinion, so I'll go through Sonic games without getting all the red rings just because I don't really care. To me, the one thing that I really care about when I'm playing Sonic Generations is how does it feel? Is it still fast and fun like Sonic the Hedgehog should be? And to answer that question, yes, because like I said, it feels like the original Sonic Generation. I don't think there really is that much there to really set it apart. And this really isn't even a complaint because I don't think there needs to be that much there to set it apart. It's a remaster. I mean, if they really wanted to add some new stuff, they could have maybe thrown in like the 3DS levels as just like an extra bonus kind of thing. But again, they didn't really need to do that. That being said though, I would be more than happy if they did do that for a potential DLC. They did capitalize hard on that Sonic Frontiers DLC, and this game I'm thinking is doing very well and will do even better after the Christmas season because, you know, Sonic movie 3. But I don't know, I think this would be the nice time to really capitalize on the success of this game by adding more content. Again, they did with Frontiers, I can see them doing it here, and hopefully they actually do. But when speaking on some of the new stuff they added into the game, well, I don't think I can talk about that without really going into detail about the skins, and I think this one will definitely be more of a complaint. So we finally got that Sonic Adventure skin that we've wanted for, you know, past Sonic games like Frontiers. We wanted, you know, more cosmetic options for Sonic, and it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like they only go like a part of the way in when they do these cosmetics for these Sonic games. Because us as fans, I feel like there's a large outcry for people who do want more options for customization for Sonic and other characters, and when they do it, I feel like they don't go all in. Like when you see games like, I don't know, Super Mario Odyssey for example, Mario has this whole wardrobe in the game that you can just mix and match clothing for, and I'm not even asking for all of that stuff. But I mean, can we get like more than one skin in a game? I think Sonic Colors might have the biggest selection variety for Sonic that we've seen in a game, and that's a little sad. And the reason I say it's sad is not because of the variety, but more so because there really isn't anything there that makes me like super excited. Like, for example, Sonic Frontiers, I think there were some really cool things there, like the SA2 soap shoes, and same goes for that whole Monster Hunter collaboration they did. There were cool things they did here, but there wasn't enough of it for me to say that the game really maximized the capabilities for what you can do for customization. And the same thing applies for Sonic Generations. I don't think they did enough here for me to say, oh yeah, check out the customizable options. Because there's only, what, 2? One for Modern Sonic with the Sonic Adventure skin, and one for Classic Sonic with the Sonic Jam skin. Now these are skins that are really, really cool. Don't get me wrong, I don't even play without these skins anymore, but I mean, this kind of feels like the bare minimum to me. And maybe I can't speak on behalf of you lovely viewers who are watching this video, and if you are watching, which you probably are if you're at this point, definitely leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and also turn on the post notifications bell so you never miss a video from me. You don't want to miss what I have to say. Anyway, I can't speak on behalf of all of you, but I would definitely pay for more skins in this game. That's something that I actually would pay for in terms of potential DLC content. I know we have that upcoming DLC for Shadow the Hedgehog for the Sonic Movie 3 later in December, but I mean, I would pay for more of this just because I think that they can do more, and if that's what they got to do by putting it behind a paywall, then hey, whatever, I'm here for it. But outside of that, I mean, the cutscene changes were pretty cool. I think that there was a lot of overreaction on Twitter. Like, I think people go in on Ian Flynn for really, I think, no particular reason. Like, getting mad that Sonic referenced something that happened in a previous game when you know that this is an anniversary title is just kind of strange to me. Like, why wouldn't he make this inane reference to something that happened so many years ago in an anniversary title where it's supposed to be the culmination of all things Sonic related? Sonic mentioning the time stones isn't an issue, it's fine. Sonic and Shadow having dialogue that alludes to their Adventure 2 conversation is fine. I don't see an issue here because, again, this is an anniversary title. This is something that literally what the game is supposed to do. And all of the references to things are properly placed too. It's not like Sonic's just name dropping a location to name drop a location. I don't know, all the ones I've seen in there were fine, so I don't have any complaints. But as far as the Sonic Generations portion goes for this game, I think you'll like it if you like Sonic Generations. If you like the original, you'll like this. There really isn't anything different here, which is a blessing to be said because you really can't say the same thing for Sonic Colors because that remaster is not quite similar. Moving on, let's go to the Shadow Generations portion and talk about some of the Doom powers and everything else the game has to offer. Firstly, let's talk about the story and how much I love it because, I don't know, I feel like at some point the whole Shadow doing his past thing might get stale, but it definitely didn't this time. Let's be honest here, at some point, someday down the line, we're gonna get tired of seeing Shadow, Maria, Gerald, and that whole story being rehashed for the millionth time. But Sonic X Shadow Generations does it in such a way where it feels like a cultivation of everything that has happened in Shadow's past mixing together, and it forms this fantastic story. I think it's also worth mentioning just how well Time Eater really works in this situation, because we really couldn't have gotten a story like this if it weren't for someone like a Time Eater or someone as powerful as him really manipulating time to operate in such a way where things in the future can happen for Shadow and things of the past. Because when my boy Mephiles, I mean, I know we saw it in the trailer, but when I got to fight my boy Mephiles again, I almost lost it. The fact that his boss battle is hidden in like the most obscure spot in the whole white space area, and the fact that you also have to like fight him so he can like gain his right to exist back in the main timeline again is just so awesome. The boss battle is also similar to how it was in Sonic 06 in the first place, with the whole atmosphere, the music, everything really just came to life here, and I loved every second of it. I'm going to be flexing my Sonic 06 bias here for a minute, but it's just crazy to me how the best boss battle in the game and the best level in the game come from Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. I mean, I don't know what that says, but I don't know. Maybe that means something. And here's the thing though, I think every single level in Shadow Generations is like really something else. I mean, the funny thing is, I feel like this game controls significantly better than Sonic Generations, like the other part of the game. And I don't know why that is. Maybe someone of you like who are like really into like game designing can explain that to me in the comments, but this one just feels so much more smooth and the boosting feels so much better. And not to say Generations feels bad, I don't know, this one just really blows out of the water for me. But now we have to talk about the other things that enhance the levels themselves that really sets them apart from Sonic Generation. The Doom powers, and also, of course, Chaos Control, which Chaos Control, by the way, I'm not even going to count as this because I think it's the most useful thing this game has to offer, and that really sets it apart. But if we're talking strictly Doom powers here, I gotta say my order for them probably is Doom Blast at 1, Doom Spears at 2, Doom Wing at 3, then Surf, then Morph. Call it a skill issue all you want, Doom Morph just isn't that fun to me, and I don't think it was that well explained. Like, I didn't learn until after the fact that you going under the little blob thing in the air and like releasing the button will launch you upwards. They don't really tell you that. I think I had to learn that through Twitter. I don't know why that wasn't so clear. Doom Wing would probably be my favorite if it just wasn't so, I don't know, it seems like it wasn't really made for the levels themselves. And maybe again, this is just a strictly skill issue thing, but I couldn't find that much use for it outside of just flying around and trying to find somewhere to land where there really wasn't a place to land. Unless the level was specifically designed for Doom Wing, it just felt like it was out of place if you used it. Doom Surf is pretty cool, but I just feel like there really isn't much use for it outside of a couple levels, and when you do use it, I don't know, it didn't feel very fast to me. Although it really was awesome when you use it against Metal Overlord, just saying. I feel like every time you use a Doom power against a boss, it was sick, just like the final boss when you used all of them. Insanely sick. This game is also just so insanely cinematic. I feel like this part of the game, as well as Sonic Frontiers, maybe this is the anime fan in me coming out, but they feel so anime-like. Like, I feel like we have so much going on here with Sonic fighting basically kaiju, and we got Shadow doing the same thing here against Dooms or Devil Doom. It's just so crazy. There honestly wasn't much I didn't like about this game, really, if anything. I like how there was strictly 3D levels and strictly 2D levels and no mix of the two in between where it was like 3D here and 2D here. It was either one or the other. To be honest with you, I feel like this might be a really great blueprint for what 3D Sonic Boost games are supposed to be. Now, of course, you can easily say games like Unleashed or Generation should be that, but I feel like this game builds off those two so well that I feel like it sets a new tone for what Boost games should feel and look like. I played the game on the PS5 and it looks outstanding, but I also played the game on the Switch and was really impressed by that too, so no matter what console you play this on, I feel like you're going to all agree with me in that it looks fantastic. Now, just like I said for the Sonic Generations part of the game, I really want this one to get DLC too, just because even though it was only like 6 levels, I feel like there's room for more. And also, I think it would be really cool, and you might hate me for this, but I think it'd be really cool if Infinite was in this game. Now, hear me out. Infinite is someone who I feel like really does rival Shadow the Hedgehog. I think Infinite is more of a Shadow villain than he is a Sonic villain, and the fact that we had a Forces level in the game, I don't know, I think it'd be really cool to bring him back in some way and somehow try to make him cooler or perhaps more imposing. Now, I know most of you would veto that idea because you don't want to touch Forces with a 10-foot pole, but if you really think about it, Infinite would make sense to be in this game just because of his antagonization of Shadow and just how much the two of them have history together. If I'm being totally honest here, I think my only issue with this game is that it ends. But let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. What did you guys think of Sonic X Shadow Generations? What would you rate it if you were to give it a score? I know I didn't, but I'm curious what you would give it. And also stay tuned for an upcoming video where I talk about the boss battles that Shadow Generations has, where I rank them all against each other and see which one is truly the best. And I already said it in this video, but you know which one that's going to be. So if you like content like this, definitely hit the post notifications bell so you don't miss that video and any other videos that I come out with between then and afterwards. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. This is your boy SONICSTA signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all.
Why are you playing that trash?